while there were people living under emergency declarations and passing away. In Georgia, a tree fell into a guy's house and ended up killing him.
Do you think this is a fair comparison?
Oh my God.
That you're
Why?
taking?
Oh my
you're taking.
God.
This is not a hurricane. Then he wouldn't be president.
Well, he needs to, I think, say something when the whole point was criticizing Joe Biden for absolutely everything that he ever.
Trump's Daytona 500 appearance, 14 social media posts in 24 hours, tornado response, crickets, Fox News reaction, not impressed. Yep, you read that right. Even Trump's media BFFs are raising their eyebrows. Want to know how bad it is when Fox News calls you out? Stick around because we're about to dive into the nitty-gritty of Trump's NASCAR nightmare. Trust me, this is one race where coming in first isn't a good thing. This has always blown my mind a little bit. 91% that watch this show regularly haven't subscribed. Could I ask you for a small favor before we start? If you like this show, what we do here, and want to support us, the free simple way you can do just that is by hitting the subscribe button. So, our favorite orange-tinted president decided to take a little joyride at the Daytona 500 because nothing says, I care about the common folk like burning rubber with NASCAR, right? Trump must have thought he'd hit the jackpot with this PR stunt. Vroom vroom indeed. But here's the kicker. While Trump was living out his race car driver fantasies, Mother Nature was throwing a hissy fit in the southeast. Tornadoes were having a field day, tearing up trees and homes like they were made of paper. Talk about bad timing. It's like showing up to a funeral in a clown costume, just a tad inappropriate.
You say if Joe Biden had done this, if Joe Biden had shown up at the Daytona 500.
Event. You're talking about storm. So he needs to respond to every single death?
No, I mean,
Because
you
he
said that
never
if you were-
did anything. Start with
Really?
North Carolina.
That's not true. Then we're firing people. There, 57% of the land in California is run by the federal government.
Now, you'd think a president might, I don't know, mention something about the disasters unfolding in his country, but nope. Trump's social media was all Daytona this and NASCAR that. 14 posts about his little car adventure, and 0 about the tornadoes. I guess when you're having that much fun, who has time to worry about silly things like people's lives being in danger? While Trump was busy playing with his big boy toys, real people were dealing with real problems. Trees were falling on houses, and folks were scrambling for safety. But hey, at least the president got to ride in his fancy beast car, right? I mean, that's clearly more important than addressing a natural disaster. Who needs emergency response when you've got a sweet ride? Let's break it down for a second. On one side, we've got millions of dollars spent on Trump's NASCAR field trip. On the other, we've got a big fat 0 spent on helping out the tornado victims. I'm no math whiz, but something doesn't add up here. It's like choosing to buy a sports car when your house is on fire. Priorities, am I right? But wait, it gets better. Even Fox News, Trump's usual cheerleading squad, was giving him the side eye. When your friendliest media pals are telling you to read the room, you know you've really stepped in it. It's like your mom telling you she's not mad, just disappointed. Ouch! The White House, of course, tried to spin this faster than Trump's lap around Daytona. They said it was super important for the president to engage with his supporters, because nothing says engagement like zooming past them at 200 miles per hour, I guess. Maybe next time he can throw some MAGA hats out the window for extra engagement points. The whole spectacle was like watching a car crash in slow motion. On one side, you've got Trump living his best life, pretending to be a NASCAR star. On the other, you've got real people dealing with real disasters. It's like he missed the exit for Presidenting 101 and ended up on the racetrack instead. Well, well, well. Looks like Fox News finally found the emergency brake on the Trump train. Who would have thought? So our favorite news network, the one that usually treats Trump like he's the second coming of Ronald Reagan, suddenly decided to play hardball. It's like watching your drunk uncle sobering up at Thanksgiving dinner. Awkward, but kind of satisfying. Let's talk about Jessica Tarlov, shall we? This Fox News anchor went full disappointed mom mode on Trump. You could almost hear her saying, "I'm not mad, Donald. I'm just disappointed." She hit him with the classic, "What if Obama did this?" Move! Ouch! That's gonna leave a mark bigger than Trump's ego. But here's the kicker. Tarlov wasn't pulling punches. She straight up called Trump out for ignoring those storms and wasting millions of taxpayer dollars going to the Daytona 500 and posing for authoritarian propaganda photo ops. Damn, Jessica, did someone forget to give you the Trump is always right memo? And it wasn't just Tarlov. Even some of the usual Trump cheerleaders were squirming in their seats. It's like they suddenly realized they've been defending a guy who thinks natural disaster response means tweeting about NASCAR while tornadoes are having a party in the Southeast. Now you might be thinking, but wait, isn't Fox News supposed to be Trump's BFF? Well, apparently even Fox has its limits. Who knew? It's like they finally looked up from their MAGA hats and realized, oh crap, this doesn't look good. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Is this Fox News putting on the brakes or just a quick pit stop in their Trump love affair? Only time will tell. But for now, it's pretty darn entertaining watching them try to backpedal faster than Trump can tweet, witch hunt. Speaking of witch hunts, you know what people were really hunting for? DOGE. No, not the meme cryptocurrency. We're talking about the supposed Department of Government Efficiency. Remember that. Trump's magical solution to cutting government waste. Well, folks on social media were asking, where's Doge? While Trump was busy playing NASCAR Superstar. It's almost like people expect the president to, I don't know, actually do president stuff during a crisis. Crazy, right? But here's Trump living his best life at Daytona while people are dealing with real disasters. It's like he missed the exit for Presidenting 101 and ended up on the racetrack instead. And you know what's really rich? The White House trying to spin this as important engagement with his supporters. Yeah, because nothing says I care about the American people like ignoring a natural disaster to hang out with NASCAR fans. It's not like there are any Trump supporters in the storm-affected areas, right? Oh wait, but here's the real question. Is this the beginning of the end for the Fox-Trump romance? Are we witnessing the start of a beautiful breakup? Or is this just a lover's quarrel that'll blow over faster than you can say fake news? Speaking of fake news, remember when Trump promised to make the government run like a well-oiled machine? Well, folks, it looks like that machine might be running on empty. Let's talk about Doge. And no, we're not talking about Elon's favorite crypto. We're talking about Trump's mythical Department of Government Efficiency. Where'd it go? Let's find out. So Doge was supposed to be Trump's secret weapon against government waste. You know, like a superhero, but instead of fighting crime, it would fight paperwork? But while Trump was busy playing NASCAR driver at Daytona, Doge was apparently taking a pit stop. Now let's do some Trump math. On one side, we've got millions of dollars spent on a Daytona photo op. On the other side, we've got, government efficiency. Something's not adding up here, folks. It's like hiring Jenny Craig as your personal trainer and then watching her demolish a whole pizza. Mixed messages much. While Trump was vrooming around in his fancy beast at Daytona, people started wondering, is Doge just a three-letter joke or did it get lost in Trump's coattails? Maybe it took a wrong turn at Albuquerque? Or perhaps it's hiding in one of those Mar-a-Lago closets the FBI didn't check. Speaking of Mar-a-Lago, did you know that Trump spent over 300 days at his golf courses and resorts during his presidency? That's almost a full year of golf. And guess who got to foot the bill for all that executive time? That's right, us taxpayers. The Secret Service alone racked up tens of millions in expenses. It's like we're all members of Trump's golf club now, except we don't get to use the pool. And it gets better. In Palm Beach County, where Trump's fancy Mar-a-Lago castle sits, officials estimated they'd have to shell out $35 to $40 million a year just to protect Trump and his family. That's a lot of efficiency, huh? I guess when Trump said he'd run the government like a business, he meant a Trump business. You know, the kind that tends to go bankrupt. But wait, there's more. While Trump was living it up, federal workers were probably thinking, oh great, he'll fire us all to pay for his joyrides. And they weren't far off. There were reports of mass firings at federal agencies, sometimes followed by desperate attempts to rehire the same people they'd just kicked to the curb. It's like a game of governmental musical chairs, except the music never stops, and everyone's confused. Take the National Nuclear Safety Administration, for example. They fired a bunch of experts, then had an oops moment when they realized maybe, just maybe, those folks were kind of important. Who knew nuclear safety required actual knowledge? Not Doge, apparently. The irony here is thicker than the smoke from Trump's burnout at Daytona. Can you smell it? It's the scent of efficiency going up in flames. Trump's all about cutting waste, unless that waste happens to be his own expensive trips and events. It's like he's got his own personal Department of Golfing excursions instead of DOGE. And let's not forget the timing of all this. While Trump was playing race car driver, actual disasters were happening. Tornadoes were tearing up the southeast, but Trump was more interested in tearing up the racetrack. It's like showing up to a house fire with a super soaker and using it to water your lawn instead. Well, folks, it looks like our Donnie Diapers thought he'd score some easy points with his NASCAR buddies. But whoopsie daisy, even Mother Nature wasn't having it. Picture this, Trump zooming around in his fancy beast while the sky opens up like it's trying to wash away the whole idea. Talk about a wet blanket on his victory lap. Now you'd think a little rain might dampen the spirits of our orange in chief, but nope, he still took his lap of glory in the beast. Because why let a little water stop you from splashing around in taxpayer money, right? The crowd cheered. But you've got to wonder, were they cheering for Trump or just happy to see any action in this soggy situation? But here's the kicker. While Trump was playing race car driver, his own efficiency department was supposedly slashing budgets. Irony, thy name is Trump. It's like watching someone throw a lavish party and then getting stuck with the bill. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened to us taxpayers. And speaking of bills, let's talk numbers, shall we? The Secret Service protection during Trump's presidency wasn't exactly pocket change. We're talking tens of millions of dollars, folks. That's a lot of NASCAR tickets. In fact, Palm Beach County officials estimated they'd need to cough up $35 to $40 million a year just to keep Trump and his family safe. That's a whole lot of checkered flags. But our grumpy Trumpy wasn't about to let a little thing like fiscal responsibility rain on his parade. Nope. He went all out with a flyover of Air Force One, because nothing says I'm one of you, average Joe, like showing up in your own private jumbo jet, right? Now, you might be thinking, but surely Fox News Trump's BFF would be all over this like white on rice. Well, hold on to your MAGA hats, folks, because even they're giving him the side eye. Some commentators pointed out that if this had been Sleepy Joe Biden, the media would have been all over him like a bad rash. Looks like someone's engine is sputtering. But let's not forget the real kicker here. While Trump was busy playing vroom vroom, there were actual disasters happening. Tornadoes were tearing up the southeast, but our president was more interested in tearing up the racetrack. It's like showing up to a house fire with a super soaker and using it to water your lawn instead. And the cherry on top of this disaster Sunday, the race got delayed. That's right, folks. Trump's big moment turned into a big waiting game, but did that stop him? Ha, as if. He still took his lap, rain or shine, because why let a little thing like appropriateness get in the way of a good photo op? Well, folks, it looks like Trump's NASCAR joyride hit a wall even Fox News couldn't ignore. When your cheerleaders start booing, you know you've taken a wrong turn. It's like Trump thought he was playing Mario Kart, but forgot there were real-world disasters happening outside the track. Even the talking heads at Fox are scratching their noggins, wondering if maybe, just maybe, zooming around in circles isn't the best use of presidential time and taxpayer money. It's almost as if they've discovered there's a limit to how much orange-tinted nonsense they can swallow. Poor Donnie Diapers thought he'd score some easy points with his vroom vroom adventure, but instead he's facing a pit stop from his usual pit crew. Maybe next time he'll remember that being president isn't just about photo ops and burning rubber. But let's be real, that's about as likely as finding a vegetable on his dinner plate.